Hello YouTube friends and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Deidre from Our Upcycled Life and I do lots of thrifting, upcycling, repurposing, and DIY content. And today's video is all about using oven cleaner to upcycle and make things that are covered in stain and varnish look more modern. And I've been really blown away by how well this technique works. I've seen lots of people on Instagram and TikTok using it. I put it to the test and I want to show you today how well it works. And I also want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Okay, we got lots of work. Let's head out to the shed and get started. The first thing you're going to need to do is grab some oven cleaner. I actually found this at our dollar store. It was $4 and I used this container for all 4 of these projects. I have a frame that's been decoupaged on. I have a little trinket box, a picture frame, and these candlesticks. They're all really dated looking, covered in a lot of varnish. And we're going to put this easy off oven cleaner to the test and see if it'll break through the surface of all of these projects. Of course, I'm doing this outside. You want to be in a well-ventilated area, making sure you wear a mask, glasses, and gloves. I sprayed the oven cleaner on all of these projects really liberally, let it sit for 20 minutes, and now I'm taking a scrub brush and just scrubbing at it. And as you can see, a lot of it is already lifting off. I put them all in a pail and I'm just using my pressure washer on a low setting. You can also use a garden hose. And I let it soak for a few minutes and now I'm going back in again with my scrub brush and you can see how it's lifting that first layer off. And it's also soaked into that decoupaged print and it's coming off that plaque also. Having that orange stain and that thick varnish just screams 80s. So this is really going to update these pieces. I've set these up again on the crate and the pail to give them another coat, spraying it on really liberally, and we're going to set it aside and let it sit again for 20 more minutes. After that 20 minutes was up, we went back in with that scrub brush again and really aggressively scrubbed at all of those projects, and you can still see there's a lot of that stain and varnish that's still coming off. Also used my scraper a little bit to help it along. If you appreciate a good DIY project, you need to subscribe to Skillshare. If you've ever had any questions or just want to learn more about crafting, then Skillshare is the place for you. Skillshare is an online video-based platform where you can learn anything from photography to calligraphy. And the difference between Skillshare and YouTube and why I like it so much is it focuses on interaction, much like being in the real-life classroom. The instructor lays out steps and information in a way that's easy to comprehend, and it's also ad-free, so you can stay in the zone while exploring new skills. With new classes being launched every week, there's always something to discover. I just finished taking Emily B's furniture refinishing class for beginners and it was amazing. I've certainly taken my furniture refinishing techniques to the next level because of Emily's class. So you should join Skillshare to learn any new skills. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description box will get 1 month free trial of Skillshare. So try it out and let me know what you think. Okay, the first project that we're going to finish up are these candlestick holders. I was blown away. I was able to get almost everything off of these right back to the raw wood. I let it dry overnight and now I'm just going in with a little bit of sandpaper and just cleaning up around the grooves and the edges just to smooth it out a little bit. I can't believe how well that oven cleaner broke through that really thick varnish and stain and removed it all. So here's the before. And here is the after. They look high-end. Love the way they turned out. I didn't even put anything on them because I love that raw wood look. Kind of gives me that Pier 1 kind of vibes. Put some candles in them. These are going in my house. The next project is this little plaque. It was a little bit more stubborn. After 3 coats of the oven cleaner, this is as far as I could get it lifted. So I went at it with a 120 grit sandpaper and it didn't take much to sand this right back down to the raw wood. And I'm going to turn it into a sign. We're going to use our label sheet technique with polyacrylic sealer. I have a full tutorial on how to do this transfer technique and it works really well on raw wood. We're using our polyacrylic sealer matte finish and I'm going to put a coat on top of that piece of wood And then we're going to lay that label sheet that I've printed on with my LaserJet printer right into that polyacrylic sealer, making sure it's centered and have it exactly where we want it. I set it aside and let it dry for a few hours. And then once it's completely dry, all you do is just remove that label sheet and you've got graphics on your project. So we've taken this plaque that had this decoupaged, probably greeting card on it, and upcycled it into this beautiful little plaque that I am going to hang in my craft room. The next project that we worked on was this wooden frame, and it had some really intricate cuts in it, and I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to get that cleaned out in there. I was really surprised. It worked really well and it came up nice and clean. I'm going to turn this into a sign. I cut a piece of MDF and I've painted it with some homemade chalk paint, and we're going to do our Mod Podge reverse graphic transfer method on this. Printed out these graphics on my LaserJet printer, making sure to reverse the text. This graphic's available in my Etsy store if you want to grab it. I'll have the link down below in the description and you can check that out. I've let it set for 24 hours and now I'm just taking a damp rag with some water, wetting it till you can just start to see the graphics show through, and then taking off the paper. You can peel it off if you can get it to peel, and then go back in with your fingers and rub all of the paper away until it's nice and clean. And then I'm going to seal it with some polyacrylic sealer and we're ready to put it in the frame. So here's the before with that ugly orange dated stain, and this is what we upcycled it to. Cleaned up really nice, gave it a really rustic look, and then when I added that sign in the middle, it finished it off perfectly. And now here's that little trinket box, and I'm pretty sure it was cedar. It came up beautiful. I sanded it down with some 120 grit sandpaper, and now I'm going to seal it up with some matte polyacrylic sealer. So here's the before, really ugly, really orange, and this is what I was able to upcycle it into. A perfect little box to keep some earrings and necklaces and little keepsakes. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you haven't tried this oven cleaner method, you need to give it a try because I feel it works fantastic. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And if you love this video, I'm sure you'll love either of these two. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to follow along so you don't miss any great DIY content. Take care.